Good day, everybody. It is Calxiyn and Hunter here, and if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe for more videos. Check out the Patreon to get videos like this early. Today we're going down a trip of memory lane. We haven't really done something like this before, but we are basically looking at all of our old theories that we made. Hunter's just like sinking. Hunter's ashamed. All of the old theories that we had during Volume 8, and so we're gonna look at each one and try to like remember, you know, what occurred
if we even
during
can remember
these videos and all of that stuff. And so I think that we should just start with the fact that we had some whack-ass theories this volume. We had some theories that were not in any way, shape, or form even close. And so let's start with the biggest one, okay? So we're just in the playlist. We're in the Calxiyn Investigates RWBY playlist, okay? And the very first offender is, does the photo mean something? Robin's sister?
Oh, God.
Silver-eyed warrior? Question mark. So if
Oh.
you guys don't remember, in the bar in RWBY Volume 8, in the very first episodes, there was this photo in the background of these two lesbians that were, I'm assuming...
Not even what, they were just literally two women standing next to each other.
In the owners of the bar, and they were in like a picture that they had a photo of themselves, I guess. And we were like, oh my god, is this like Robin's bar? Is this Robin's family? Are these former happy huntresses? And they were like, LOL, no, it's just the owners of the bar.
Just
That's
people.
it. So they weren't related to Robin at all, and I think that this is an indication of like us wanting some Robin backstory, right? Like very early indication of us wanting to know like about her parents, about her past a little bit more, all of that stuff, and that did not go down. Penny is definitely getting hacked, right? That was right.
We were right.
Good job to us. I mean, we've had that theory since Volume 7, so really that was a very
we had the
easy
theory
one.
that she would get hacked and her hacked would result in her dying. We were half right on
well,
that.
we had a theory that she would get hacked at the rally and she would actually murder people, but then that didn't happen, and so we kind of dropped it. But then based on the OP, we were like, oh, she's getting hacked for reals this time. For reals, right? And so yeah, she got hacked. So I would say that's good on us. Cinder is a pirate theory.
Yeah,
Do we
Hunter.
want to remind
I love how
everyone about
aggressive that sounds. Hunter has cracked Cinder's true backstory. I didn't crack shit.
I know.
I still really like that pirate theory. I'm not gonna lie.
That would have been better than what we got. No offense to RWBY.
I liked what we got.
I know, like the whole like, oh yeah, like Cinder's connected to Atlas thing, but they could have made her an Atlas pirate, okay? Like there's seas around Atlas, all right? They could have done both. They could have done the foil of Winter being rich and Cinder being poor. She just could have been a poor pirate, okay? But I loved that theory. That was such a fun video, and I really do think that that's when like the best videos of the volume started. Like this is where it all went down in my eyes. Like this is where
They were
like,
good videos. They weren't accurate.
We were starting to like go up in quality like with these theories. Emerald, Mercury, and Hazel even gonna do though? I think in this video we basically talked about their outfits and we were like, what are they gonna do? And so we talked about Cinder finding Emerald, but with Mercury we were like, we don't even fucking know, right? We basically said, oh well, he's in the OP, so maybe he'll do something for Salem, question mark. I think that that was basically that video. We really had no idea what Mercury was really getting into. And I think with Hazel, we did, because we predicted that Oscar would get kidnapped, I think that with Hazel we actually did sort of say that he would beat up
I think we were close
Oscar.
with Hazel.
Yeah, we were like close with Hazel. We were like on the money with Emerald, but then with Mercury we were just like, I don't care. We don't know what's going on with Mercury. We don't care about him. That's basically how that video went down. The Cinder, Emerald, and Neo using the relic. I guess kinda in a way that did happen with Cinder using the relic, but it's not really
how
in
we
the way
thought
that
it
we
would.
said at all.
No.
Like it just wasn't. It just wasn't right at all. But Emerald did find out the password, so that was pretty good on us, because our theory, our theory at one point was that Neo would basically switch out the relic. Like Emerald and Neo would work together with their illusion magic and switch out the relic, basically, and they take it and like run away, and Cinder would use it for something. And so that kind of happened with Neo, but not exactly. Like she didn't take it for Cinder, she took it as a bargaining chip. So good idea is just not correct.
Not correct.
Not correct, but I still like that video, I think, but it's not one of the more memorable ones. It's just one of the ones we just sort of made. The Hound is even more terrifying than we thought. We were pretty
kinda
close.
right.
We were kind of right, so I'm gonna take that. Like I think that was really, really good, because we predicted so much, like that there would be a person inside, down to the floppy venom head, right? That you said that in this video, and that's exactly what that hound does.
That it would be Silver Eyes.
Exactly, Silver Eyed related, right?
It wasn't Summer.
It wasn't
but
Summer.
They also kind of go on to say
But it will be Summer.
Like that's probably what happened to
Exactly.
Summer. So I feel like
and so
I'll take
that was a
that
big
as a W.
I will take that as a W. Who is Crimson? Are the Happy Huntresses and the White Fang working together? So let me explain.
Hey, do you remember how there was a throwaway character named Crimson, and we're like, oh, he's definitely related to Adam, and we're definitely gonna see him.
So here's what happened. So Fiona got a call from Crimson, who was a male, like, a huntsman or something, that she was on the phone with him, and he was like, yeah, da-da-da-da-da, I got some huntsmen here, blah, 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 right? And so we were like, oh, like, this is a guy who says that they got a bunch of huntsmen here, but he's not a part of the Happy Huntresses, so who is he? And we sort of thought, like, we thought that eventually the conclusion that we would come to was that the Happy Huntresses had made a truce with the Atlas White Fang, and that they were both working together to help Mantle,
and that
right?
Crimson,
and so Crimson was the White Fang faction leader.
He
was no one.
Yeah.
He wasn't anyone.
We thought he might be related to Adam. That definitely didn't happen.
He was absolutely...
wasn't ever
not
heard from again.
Anyone. So yeah, that was a little sad.
Probably good, because like when you really think about it, that would have been kind of unnecessary.
Well,
when you think of all the other forward momentum.
I get it, but at the same time, I think it would have been nice, at least in Volume 7, to establish what happened to the White Fang there. And have them work with the Happy Huntresses to show that Robin cares about the Faunus enough to make an alliance with the White Fang and
but now
help,
that,
right?
In Volume 7, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
In Volume 8, when everything's such at a frenetic pace, stopping and talking about people's allegiances may have been a little
I guess, but like we could have had it more naturally
I guess that's also true
integrated, because we thought that we would see Crimson when Yang and Ren and Jean were chasing after to go get Oscar. That's when we thought we would see him, because they asked for Team RWBY's, or I guess Oscar, Yang, Ren, and Jean's help, and so I thought that we'd run into them and sort of get it in a more natural way where they sort of helped to go get Oscar, but they still failed. So they could have done that. In theory, it wouldn't be that weird, but they didn't. So that's what happened. What will Oscar say to Salem? So I think that this video was originally about Oscar, like, switching sides, or like pretending to switch sides, or maybe that was another. No, I think that was that one. So we sort of had a theory that Oscar would actually be like drinking some Salem Kool-Aid a little bit, and maybe convinced by what she was saying, because what if she was like, you know, with the Relic of Creation, we could split you, like, don't you want to be your own person, Oscar? That she would sort of manipulate him, but that didn't exactly happen. He kind of pretended to do the double thingies because he told Hazel the password.
Yeah.
But that wasn't really the double agent in the way that we imagined. So it wasn't really like that at all. Like, the max double agenting that Oscar did was tell Hazel the password and then also pretend to be Hazel. But, like, we were sort of thinking that he would tell Salem whatever Salem wants to hear, and then he would, like, betray her, like, later on. Like, it would be a very, like, switcheroo, but that didn't really happen in Oscar's case. But I like the stuff that happened with Oscar. So, what happens when Penny gets hacked? Bad things. Next. That video was basically mostly, I think, accurate in terms of like what would happen.
But it didn't end up coming true at the end of the day.
Well, what do you mean? She was hacked, though.
She was hacked, but I think and maybe these are theories that come a little later.
Yeah.
But I think we had the kind of conception that she would be hacked, and she would be hacked all the way through to the relic.
That
and
is
she would
true.
Have gotten
yeah, that she would stay hacked, but instead she had, like, she regained more control than I think we thought.
Yeah.
But either way, our hacking theories were like chef's kiss. Like, we were very on point with what happened with the hacking. Cinder, Neo, and Emerald's futures with Salem. I think in that video we actually did talk about Emerald defecting. Yes. So there was one point where you were like going hard on Emerald redemption, yes. And I think that may be the video where we talked about that Cinder will like eventually maybe betray Salem, like yes. to a point where she will be like, hey, I can't be the most powerful person in the world if you're here, sort of thing. And so I think that like with the Emerald
might still
part,
happen
we hit
because Cinder kind of did lie to Salem.
Yeah, she did do that. So it's like there's potential in that theory for the future. And I think with Neo, I think that for a while we had a theory that Neo would actually join Salem because Salem would connect with her grief. But I think by this point, by episode 4, I think that we saw that Neo wanted to get the fuck out of Dodge. Yeah. So I think that we probably dropped that theory for that video, and then we actually started to talk about like, oh, Neo wants to get the fuck out of here. So I think which
ended up being kind of true.
Well, I mean, she did want to leave, so.
I guess she did want to leave, but she ended up getting duped by Cinder one last time.
Yeah, and so. Very sad, very sad. Crow, Robin, and Watts escaping. That was wrong.
Yeah.
We thought that Watts would work with him, and they didn't.
That didn't happen. We thought that, like, Raven would show up.
Yeah,
that
Raven
never
and
happened.
Ty will come to Atlas.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Nope, they didn't.
That's it. I mean, they didn't. I don't know why they didn't. Why didn't they? Why didn't Raven
I'm still
get there?
thinking Raven, it's not the last we saw of them.
I know. I like every single year, Hunter, you put on your clown nose and you hope for Raven to get here, but...
Not every year. Not every year.
Yeah.
It used to be Neo Watch.
And now it's
Then
Raven
Volume 6
Watch.
happened, and for the last 3 years, I've been the clown on
I
Raven
think that
Watch.
we could probably see Raven come up, like, in the future. Especially because they did drop in Ty. And, like, I feel like that everyone that was seen in that scene is going to have a meaningful role. Like Glinda, like seeing Glinda, we know that Glinda is still fixing Veil.
Yeah.
I feel like Glinda will become relevant during the Veil arc and everything, right? And so I feel like that it's not necessarily like the last we've seen. And remember, like Veil is on the same continent as Vacuo, so can't Ty just, even if Raven's not here, can't he just drive? You know what I mean? Can't he just drive over there? You know, and so I don't know. I think that maybe in Volume 9, I think your Raven Dimension portal theory from saving them from whatever that island is, like that could still like happen.
Potentially, but then I ended up having that the newer theory of the post-credit scene where Raven would be trying to open a portal and she can't get it to them.
And that wasn't right.
Yeah.
And so, but we could still see that in the future.
But we could still that in the future.
We could see that Raven tries to do it and it doesn't work. Or she could do it and it does work. But that would be such an easy out for Team RWBY, though. That's the only problem I have, is that would be such an easy out from this magical island.
I agree with you.
How will Bumblebee become canon? So that was our idea of Blake thinking that Yang was dead in the whale and kissing her, and that didn't happen.
Nope.
But I would say that I think the similar concept can now be applied with current events, because Blake thinks Yang is dead, Blake now falls in hole, Blake sees that Yang is not dead and kisses her and like, hey, how dare you scare me like that, right? So in Volume 9,
I feel like
we could get a kiss.
3 years it's just been like, oh, has this been traumatic enough for them to kiss? No, I guess not.
But now that Blake actually thinks she lost Yang, like for real, I'm saying that it will probably happen in Volume 9.
I could see that.
That's my argument about that video, because remember, we were talking about near-death experience, that Blake would think Yang is dead, but she never thought that Yang was dead because Yang was fine. They got out of the whale. But now she thinks that Yang is dead in another context, so our theory about the kiss, I think, still lives. I think that she'll kiss Yang when she sees Yang again, because she'll be so relieved that Yang's not actually dead. And
in
then,
all fairness, they did have a tender moment there.
yes, there was a tender moment,
so
but they'll kiss this time. Mercury will get his semblance back. That wasn't necessarily wrong, but it is up in the air. However, in that video, we talked about that he and Tyrion would fight, and we'd actually see that this volume. So that's the only thing that hasn't happened, and that's still up in the air with him. I had a theory that basically, like, Mercury, because he seems like, you know, he is not a fan. He's not a fan of what Salem's doing. It seems like Mercury had looks of regret as he left Emerald because he found out that the world was ending and realized, uh-oh, I fucked up. Like, I made a mistake, right? And so I feel like that ultimately we could still see something going on with Mercury, but our idea for that was that Mercury would fight Tyrion in the airship and that he would get his semblance back and his semblance would be to fly. And so we'd fight Tyrion and fly away and then go back to Emerald.
But
so it didn't happen, but we didn't see what happened to Mercury anyway. So we could still see him get his semblance back. They're up in the air. Anyway, Emerald using the Relic of Knowledge. No, she didn't. She helped get it, like, you know, she helped get the name of Jin.
She was in the
involved,
room.
but she didn't do anything. It was all Neo. Very sad.
She's the person that showed up to the group project and really just...
Like,
exactly
she was with
anything.
Hazel, but, like, she didn't actually contribute to, like, using the relic. She didn't even help Cinder figure out how to use the relic, so. Then we talk about Salem doesn't want Cinder anymore in order to use Penny instead. Yeah, that didn't necessarily go down how we thought that it would. Because, again, Penny self-terminate clause. My theory about that was that Watts just put that in for Ironwood and that he would change it. But it seems that Watts put that in intentionally because... like, he said that he could only, like, set her on a course of action and he couldn't change it later. And so it seems like that wasn't right. But I still wonder, though, like, why wouldn't Salem want a robot over Cinder? Like, why wouldn't she? Right? Like, why wouldn't she want Hacked Penny over Cinder? And why wouldn't they keep Hacked Penny then? That's the only thing.
I guess true, but at the end of the day, you know, she became a real girl before they could.
I guess that's true. That's true. I just mean, like, in theory, it kind of would have been interesting if Salem did want Penny instead of Cinder. But I guess, like, what happened is that Watts' hacking capabilities, like, don't necessarily negate free will entirely. And so while we were imagining, oh, like, hacked Penny does whatever Salem wants, it's really hacked Penny is told to go to an endpoint and then do this and that's it, right? And so Watts couldn't just hack her constantly, so I guess that was the reasoning, was the powerfulness of the hacking and what the hacking could do. Then we have the Silver-Eyed Warrior changes everything, but I don't think that was necessarily a theory. I think that was just sort of reinforcing that, like, this could have happened to Summer, that's why Salem wants Ruby. And I would like to say I'm so proud of that, because I've been saying for years that in between Maria and wanting to, like, actually kidnap Ruby, like, something must have happened, because she was gonna kill Maria but kidnap Ruby. So I kept saying for years and years and years, since we saw Maria's backstory, that something must have changed, and now we know that that's right. So I'm really proud of that one. I'm, like, proud of all these videos, even the ones that weren't necessarily right. Like, I'm still proud of them, but I'm extra proud of, like, the ones that actually, like,
on the topic of
off.
ones that weren't right,
I'm still proud of that video. I still like that video.
Hunter's Ozpin Kane theory will blow your... Why is it that you give all of my bad theories the really grand titles of, like, Hunter cracked the code, and it's never right?
Yeah.
I mean, I did kind of predict that, like, there was this alternative universe
so you did get that the relic dimension.
And they never explained it, and then we're probably going to see more of it, so, I mean, I was in the right direction. I missed a target, but I was in the right direction.
Yeah, because that's what the whole thing was, oh, like, they had this relic dimension, and it wasn't, like, they never explained it again, but now they explained it by Ambrosius, right? Like, that was the weird thing, right? And so, I don't know, I still like that video, though, and this is also around the time we started to get the editor, and I feel like that changed everything, like, in terms of the quality of all of our videos, so I'm still, like, proud and, like, happy with all these videos, but, like, I don't know, I'm more extra happy at the ones that failed, actually. The pirate one was, like, top tier, but it just wasn't right? What happens to Emerald and Hazel? Do they deserve redemption? So I think in this video, we pretty much talked about how Hazel wasn't looking too hot, and then also that Emerald would, like, get redeemed, sort of like you were saying, right? But that she may waver when she sees Cinder. The thing was, she hasn't seen Cinder yet, and Cinder has seen her, but she hasn't seen Cinder, so that's still up in the air, whether Emerald will actually change,
Although, at the end of the day, fairly accurate.
Yeah.
That Hazel would die and Emerald
Very
would.
sad. I'm so sad about Hazel still. What will Neo do with the Relic of Knowledge? Wrong. Okay, so yeah, that was not right. Nothing. She would use it as a bargaining chip. Yeah, give it away. Right, and so yeah, that was incorrect, not correct. I think that the ideas that I do like from that video, though, is I think that's the video where we talked about, like, Neo using sign language, or, like, Neo using the same, like, Ada thing that Fox does. I do like those ideas, and I hope that we could see that sometime. I don't know when, just sometime. Then we have the, how Emerald can save Team RWBY. That was, like, right. That was pretty right, because we said that, like, Emerald would use an illusion to make fake Penny, which was correct. So I'm like, yes. That was the right one. How Ironwood will test Winter's loyalty. Wrong. That was about, like, her killing Jacques to prove that she was loyal to him. That wasn't right.
At the end of the day, Ironwood just did it himself.
I think the Crow and Robin thing, though, I think that was kind of separate, that they would, I don't remember exactly what we said, but we talked about Marrow defecting in that video, and I think joining up with Crow and Robin, I think, and so I think that, like, we were on the course for that. Nora will get the maiden powers.
Nope.
No, not this time, at least. Like, you know, not these maiden powers anyway, so it's like, that was a not right theory. But I was thinking about this the other day. We actually made a theory back in Volume 7 about how Winter would get the maiden powers because of all her foils to Cinder, but then we dropped it because Penny got them. And we didn't consider that there would be another switcheroo after Freya, so it's kind of funny to look back at that old video and see that we had those ideas, because I think that talking about the Cinder and Winter parallels again will be really fun.
The great thing about carpet bombing with RWBY theories is that you're always a little bit,
right? I'm just saying that we said that last year, but now it's coming into play, a lot like the hacking, right? And then we have the how Cinder and Neo will win. I think that was pretty much mostly right.
Except Neo didn't win.
Except Neo did not win, and so yeah, like, it was basically basically just about how, like, Cinder would, like, take the staff and all the W's they would take, right? And that they would, like, take a bunch of W's, that she would get the knowledge, like, relic, that she would get the staff, that Neo, I think, was this around the time around when RWBY was falling? So we thought that Neo would think that she killed RWBY, but we didn't necessarily, like, I sort of went back and forth about Neo going into the hole. I more felt it like this recent week, just because we didn't know what the hole was gonna be yet, but as soon as, like, I was convinced that the hole was another dimension or possibly the afterlife, I was like, Neo needs to fall. She needs to fall. She has to go see Rowan. She has to fall, right? And so, you know, we didn't necessarily think it, like, at that time, in that one, that she would fall. We didn't think that Cinder would betray her that hard, I think. Team RWBY will fall, but where? This is, like, the theory that I'm personally most proudest of, because while you were focused on Raven Watch, I was big braiding this afterlife crazy
and I was 100%
theory.
sure that you were full of shit
I
and that you
know,
wouldn't
and
get
so
it
that's
right.
my really proud one. I mean, we had a mixture theory of the relic realm, right?
Yeah.
But I was so sure
when I was on board, but you were on board first.
I was on board
I was stuck in my Raven
so
Watch
on
ways.
board with another world and with an afterlife. And so as soon as Yang fell, like, a lot of people were like, Cal, why are you happy that Yang fell? Because I knew as soon as Yang fell that she could not be dead, right? And so it had to be another world. So I'm really proud of that one. Like, I'm so happy about it. Maybe it won't be afterlife, but it's still gonna be fucking cool. It's still gonna be so cool. Winter and Ironwood's fate. That was like, we kind of thought that Winter would die, but we said that Ironwood would die 100%. And he kind of did, so.
Yeah.
Our final predictions, that was just like a whole long video, but I remember specifically, we talked about John falling in the hole to see Pyrrha. We talked about Nora falling in the hole, but that wasn't right. We talked about Neo falling in the hole, again, because this is when I was on board with Roman time, right? We talked about Gira and Ilya showing up and seeing that Atlas was gone and, like, rebuilding. Get your hard hats, kids. There's no hard hats.
Yeah.
There are negative hats at this point. Like, there is nothing to rebuild for Mantle. Then I think we talked about Robin again.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not Robin. We talked about Raven again. That wasn't really a thing.
We thought we never talked about, like, the potential of Winter getting the...
Yeah, we didn't talk
maiden.
about the Winter getting the maiden powers at all. We just thought that maybe either Willow would save Winter, or, like, maybe because Crow, I think, had the airship. I think we said that
Crow
he
or
could
Maria
go
and
get
Petra
them.
would scoop
Crow,
them up.
Maria, Pietro, Willow, and so ultimately, I think we got some hits. We got some. We said Team Coffee would show up, and they didn't.
Yeah.
That was our big thing in the finale predictions, is that we would see
Also,
Team
our
Coffee.
post-credit scene predictions weren't accurate, but we got the general idea that it would communicate, like, this is the new world.
Well, actually, you said that you wanted to see someone fall.
Yeah.
I said I wanted to see signs of where they were, but not them. And so I think I was a bit more accurate with that one.
You were.
But yeah,
I also love how we were accurate on that,
Coffee.
and yet you dressed up us like clowns in the thumbnail. Like, the one time we were mostly right.
I guess, but we were also guessing a bunch of other things would happen, right? Because we also had the coffee, the Team Sun, and none of that happened. Now, in Volume 9, we're obviously gonna see them, right? In Volume 9, I'm sure Team Coffee will go, like, we'll show up and we'll be there, but, like, not this volume. But yeah, this is basically our little retrospective on all of our theories. I think that my top faves are definitely the afterlife or otherworld theory. Like, that is everything to me. That is my lifeblood.
Why is it that you're able to predict such, like, bizarre, wacky theories when it comes to the, like, relics? You predicted Jin, and then you predicted Topsy-Turvy World.
Exactly. And then, I think my second favorite, I think the Cinder as a pirate theory, that changed the game. Like, that changed everything. I love that video. I don't care what anyone says. I think the Summer being the Hound one, too. I'm really proud of that one.
Yeah, I'm proud of, I think, Summer being the Hound.
I think the Crimson one is hilarious, just because I can imagine the writing team being like, oh, Cal,
we just needed a dude.
We needed a dude. We just needed one dude. But yeah, I hope that you guys have enjoyed all of our theories. Bananas, not bananas, like all of our theories.
Wildly inaccurate.
Accurate, crazy. I hope that you guys enjoyed it all, because we had so much fucking fun. We had too much fun. Little too much fun. But yeah, I think that that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!